There were only a few things that could truly fill me with emotions such as happiness, fear, and eye-watering pain when I was but a small child. Sneaking downstairs without my parents knowing at 5 a.m. in the weekends to watch Pokemon on the television uninterrupted was definitely one of them. That one episode of SpongeBob with Nosferatu that brought me nightmares for years after seeing it was another. And the experience of stepping on a forgotten piece of Lego in my bedroom that nobody cleaned up is something I will never forget. But nothing struck me with as much dread as the impending doom each day that was my computer timer. You see, back in the day when I was just a baby gamer, I had a timer for how long I could play video games. Did I dislike my parents for this at the time? Hell yeah! But I was still happy to be able to play countless bangers for about an hour a day. Especially games that would teach me things about the world were very supported by my non-gamer parents, who thought that the only thing gaming could give me was to end up in a box at the side of the road. But things changed greatly due to the influence of a few amazing games that allowed me to spout out some big brain facts to my parents. And they slowly started to accept that games were actually pretty great in some aspects. Now that I'm older, it's great to see my cousin Timmy grow up and become a gamer just like me. But when I talked to Timmy at my latest Christmas party, I realized something. Something truly horrible. Something that was breaking the rules of time and space, and that I swore would never happen. I had become like my parents. You see, the games that most kids talk about nowadays are games like Roblox and Minecraft, Fortnite and Among Us. These games, of course, are great and allow kids to socialize with their friends from anywhere and on most, if not all, devices. But hearing my cousin talk about his experiences in these games made me too think that he would end up in a box on the side of the road. And then I started to reminisce about the old times and the old games that taught me about English and history and how to murder by removing the ladder from your pool. This isn't a video to bash the kids these days or to say that modern games aren't perhaps educational. I just want to talk for a bit about the games that made me from a baby gamer with dreams of genocide to an upstanding functional young man who makes videos in his bedroom. The issue that I see with a lot of these newer games is that they don't tend to include a lot of valuable information. The best thing Fortnite can teach you, for example, is how to do the floss. And I'm honestly not quite sure how helpful that is on a day-to-day basis. Let's compare that with Rayman, for example. For those of you who do not know Rayman, before Ubisoft decided that rabbits were obviously way better characters to sell than a badass hipster with separated limbs and superpowered punches, there was Rayman, and a lot of games. From 2D side-scrollers, Mario Kart-inspired racing games, as well as 3D games with intense storylines and creatures that gave my undeveloped brain nightmares for a decade, Rayman was my closest friend. While of course, Rayman might not teach you a lot while running around, for example, a pirate ship, he did teach me to always try to help out the little guy, how to throw a punch, and a lot of English, as there was a series of educational games that were released with him as the main character. I played a ton of these games growing up, and I genuinely have amazing memories of Rayman that I still share with my friends to this very day. Oh, hi there! Are you bored of learning about history from some old fossil talking about the Middle Ages? Tired of hearing about some Archimedes guy who's at fault for you having to learn math? Well, I have the thing for you. Straight from the exciting world of gaming, I bring you Age of Empires is another game that truly shaped mine and many others' childhood. From civilizations in the Bronze Age all the way to Renaissance heroes and cannons, there was a ton of historical info to unpack. And it was a completely different way to learn about history compared to sitting in an adult class taught by a 60-year-old history teacher. You got to experience grand campaigns, learn how to build up a civilization, your way to victory using only priests, and if you had a short moment where you were bored of using trebuchets or horse-mounted knights during battle, you could always just cheat and get a sick sports car with mounted turrets to beat up your friends with. Age of Empires is one of the main reasons for my love and interest in history today, and I think that that's the same for many others. Stop right there! Before you click away, I have to tell you about this secret method I found for earning $10,000 in just under 3 hours. I promise you, this isn't fake, and it wasn't through gambling or doing something scammy. It was totally legal, and anyone can do it. Are you ready for it? The secret to my success is RollerCoaster Tycoon. This game was so endorsed during my childhood that when it rained outside at the Christian school I went to, you'd be allowed to play it during the break. RollerCoaster Tycoon was insane. And I mean not just in its insanely fun gameplay. This game, even to this day, is probably one of the most optimized games I have ever played. And the first one was made back all the way in 1999. You could learn and do so much in this game. How do loans work? Just take one out. Want to think 10 steps ahead and gain insane spatial awareness? Just try and build the most complex roller coaster. Want to drown all the guests that are unhappy with your creation that you just made? Been there, done that. RollerCoaster Tycoon was vital in the education of so many kids my age, and I truly don't think I would have become the person I am today without it. There are a ton more of these what I call classic games that well and truly shaped my generation of gamers, and from an incredibly biased standpoint, modern games will have a hard time beating them in the educational aspect. That isn't to say that there aren't any games that can. The Talos Principle, which just recently had a sequel, is an amazing puzzle game that teaches you about both history and philosophy. All of the Sims games, from The Sims 1 to The Sims 4, can teach you about adult life, the importance of pool safety measures, and how to burn down your house while microwaving a grilled cheese sandwich. Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing can teach you a little bit about nature, plants, and how it feels to have crushing debt. And of course, Cult of the Lamb can teach you how to start and run a cult. With the shift towards more and more multiplayer games and a focus on things like microtransactions and game passes, big games that are amazing to play as well as somewhat educational are being made less and less, especially for kids. On top of that, the way kids are taught about things has changed. YouTube is now the big player in educating kids in a fun way, with channels like Crash Course and Kurzgesagt and many others. I personally just miss the days where you could play countless amazing games and be educated about things at the same time. In the future, when I have a baby gamer of my own, I hope that there are games like I had in my childhood to teach it about vital information that you really shouldn't live without. From sticking up for the little guy, the importance and spice of history, and how to get rich running an amusement park. All the way to the best way to commit genuinely horrible crimes that really shouldn't have been inside of child-friendly games. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you yourself have any games that had a massive impact on your childhood that I didn't mention in this video, please let me know in the comments below, as I'm always curious to see what games had an impact on others and to potentially play them for myself. If you enjoyed this video and want to see a little bit more, I recently created a video about couch co-op gaming that you can watch by clicking the video or window right here. Otherwise, Thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!